Welcome, minasan, to episode 3 of Game Grammar, Pokemon LeafGreen. On the last episode, we played some Famicom, and our mom talked to us about Professor Oak calling for us. Before we leave home, though, let's check out the TV, because if we respond immediately, it'll seem like we don't have anything better to do, which is really lame. Terebi de 映画をやってる。男の子が4人線路の上を歩いてる。僕ももう行かなきゃ。Sound the alarm. We've got a Teiform approaching. Yeah, Teiform, the star of the last episode. It's in this episode too. It won't be leaving us anytime soon, and you can't get a restraining order against grammar, so you might want to get used to it. The first Tei we see here, yatte, may come from a verb that ends with an u, tsu, or a godan ru. If you get confused, don't worry, it happens. I know it's intimidating, and it's one of the harder patterns to identify when you look up the word in the dictionary, because u, tsu, and ru verbs have the same Tei form, just like bu, mu, and nu, which become mde we saw it before. Everything else, though, is simpler. This time, we replace our last kana with te. The small tsu is important. Anyways, yau and yatsu aren't verbs, so we know it must be yaru. Yaru is a verb that means tons of different things, and can be used to mean to do. However, don't make the mistake of thinking that it's the same as suru. Most notably, you can't form verbs by just adding yaru after a noun, making it not as widely applicable. Yaru simply has a variety of more particular uses that would translate to do in English. This particular yaru is employed in the movie and music industries to mean to perform, to play, to act. Remember, the ru after the Tei form means that it's currently happening. De is a particle that specifies location, but not like ni. Ni goes towards things like tabi ni deru, and will specify locations with stative verbs like iru and aru, as well as the indirect object. De, on the other hand, is roughly equivalent to phrases like at, in, or on, and lets us know where an action is taking place, and specifies the means with which something is made. Terebi de refers to something happening on TV. And eiga means movie, so altogether, terebi de, eiga o yatteru means a movie is playing on TV. Yonin means 4 people, which is simple. But senro no ue is a little more complex, so let's break it down. Ue means up, and senro means track. So the up track. What's up track? No, the up of a track. Wait, the up of a track sounds awful. Let's just go with the top of the tracks. Yes, that'll do, pig. The word aruiru does not exist. Aruiteru is yet another example of the Tei form. Verbs that end in ku will replace ku with ite. That's it. So aruite comes from aruku, which means to walk. And yet again, it ends with ru, short for aruiteiru, so it's currently happening. I told you the hard parts were over. When using verbs for movement, like aruku, the action is marked by the particle o. This can be used to indicate specific roads when giving directions, or in this case, the top of the tracks. So, otoko no ko ga 4人線路の上を歩いてる translates to 4 boys are walking on top of the tracks. Looks like we know why Mom is getting all wistful. She's watching Stand By Me. That wasn't just added by the localization team in the English version. It's official Pokemon canon. Just like Indian elephants. Boku is a personal pronoun in the first person. English only has one, I, but Japanese has a handful of them. Boku is used by boys in informal situations and implies immaturity. It's becoming more popular with tomboyish girls these days, too. The mo after boku is a particle that means also or too. In practice, it replaces wa or ga, as in, I will go too. Watashi mo iku. But mo means already, as in, I already ate the entire batch of cookies. True story. Mo and mo. This sentence is like a poorly planned Three Stooges cosplay. Ikanakya is an expression that means, I should get going, or I must get going. It's an informal way of saying, ikanakereba naranai, or ikanakereba ikenai. In order to use verbs other than iku, you just use the negative conjugation and replace the i with kereba naranai. It can then be shortened to nakya. So, for example, in order to say, I should do it, you could say, yaranakereba naranai, or yaranakya. So, boku mo ikanakya translates to, I too should go already, referring to the 4 boys walking along the train tracks. They're tabi ni deteiru too. Now, we can finally put it all together. A movie is playing on TV. 4 boys are walking on top of the tracks. I too should go already. テレビで映画をやってる。男の子が4人線路の上を歩いてる。僕ももう行かなきゃ。Well, that settles it. If both our mom and our scripted internal monologue are telling us to go to the neighbor's house, and the TV is showing us resonant metaphors for the journey yet to come, then I guess we should go to the neighbor's house.
こんにちは、レッド君。弟のグリーンなら、おじいさんの研究所よ。
Konnichiwa means hello. Learn it, live it, love it. Interestingly, Nanami adds kun to the end of our name. In Japanese, they add suffixes to names to indicate relationships. They're called honorifics. The most common one you will see is san, which can be used for almost anyone, anywhere. But kun is used towards social inferiors or equals that you're close to, and mostly to boys. She's using it because we're playing as a boy and she's our neighbor, so she's pretty close to us. I mean, we only live like 5 steps away. Ototo means younger brother. Japanese distinguishes between younger and older siblings. Older brothers are oni-san or ani, while one-san or ane means older sister, and imoto is younger sister. Ototo is modifying the noun green, our rival's name, not the color, making it obvious that he is her younger brother. Nara is the capital city of the Nara Prefecture, located in the Kansai region of Japan, famous for its many temples and bowing deer. But I have a sneaking suspicion she isn't saying the word, but she's using the particle, which is translated as on the topic of, or if it is true that, or even just if. So in this case, we can translate Ototo no green nara to if it's my younger brother green, with an implied that you're looking for on the side. Spurned yet again. Oh Nanami, do you know not that it is you that my heart has been looking for after all these years? But I digress. Oji-san means grandfather, or old man. It's easy to confuse Oji-san, which refers to a general adult, middle-aged man, or your uncle, but there's a way to remember which is which. Old people have lived longer, so they have longer E sounds as well. Oji-san, uncle. Oji-san, grandfather. Kenkyujo looks pretty familiar. During the first episode, Oukido Hakase kept talking about his kenkyu, his research, remember? Jo is one of several ways to say place. One that fits the context, and the only one that can be used in this kanji compound anyways. So, kenkyujo means research institute, or laboratory. Because we both know she's talking about where green is, she omits ni iru, which would translate to is at if it were there. But it's not, so instead, she's saying, hello, Red. If it's about my younger brother Green, Grandpa's lab. Konnichiwa, Red-kun. Ototo no Green nara oji-san no kenkyujo yo. This translation might seem a bit stilted or even rude, but it's not. It's just a direct translation. A good localization team would fix this up to something a bit more appropriate though, like, if you're looking for my younger brother Green, he's at Grandpa's laboratory. Note that she ended this in yo, because she's giving us new information and she's emphasizing it. So helpful, yo. Da 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 do 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 da 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 do 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 da do da do ah 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 do 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 ch ch do 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 ch ch do 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 ba da 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 do 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 da da dum ba da.
なんだレッドか。オキドのじいさんならいねえよ。
So, Nanda here is related to Nani, and it's a more colloquial version. In fact, used more as an interjection, with an injection of tough guy to beef it up. Like, Nanda? Wait, what? What is Nani? Nani is what? It's our favorite question word, used to ask things like, What are you doing? I'm teaching people on YouTube how to play Pokemon in Japanese, Dad. Jeez. Anyway, if you feel confused, we have a link to more examples of nanda in the description. But do note, it contains examples for other uses of nanda as well, and there are a lot of them. Reddo ka is just our name with a question marker. Remember, in episode 1, when we learned that ka is put at the end of questions, so we know they're questions. We can interpret nanda reddo ka as, it's just you, Red. Oukido's name is there too, doing some sweet tricks with the no to modify Grandpa. Ji-san is the same as Oji-san, but without the O it's not as respectful. This is important, because it reminds us that Green is a jerk. Not that we needed a reminder. I mean, look at his smug face and ostentatious purple pants. You can stick that same O in front of a lot of nouns to indicate respect toward the subject, not just people's names, but these supposedly honorific O's are actually just so ingrained in Japanese speech that they aren't always respectful, just habitual. Nara shows up again, and it's still not about the city. What a shame. It's the same one we explained before, so it will translate to on the topic of, just like the last one. So we have on the topic of Grandpa Oukido, and then inee yo. That yo is the same one we saw with Green's sister and our mom, which tells us new information. But what's this inee? We have to backtrack a little bit to explain this one, forgive me. We already talked about the verb iru, which means to be for animate objects, which we already explained in the first episode is turned into its negative form when you change iru to inai. This is basically the same as going from dekakeru to dekakeyo, but with a nai instead of a yo. So if we weren't going to depart, and we're just going to play Famicom all day long, we could say dekake nai, will not depart. So, what does all this have to do with ine? Ine is a more colloquial way of saying inai by a confident shonen character. They pronounce I sounds like e all the time. And it isn't just limited to I sounds. For example, take my good pal, Monkey D. Luffy. Osan tsue! Tsuyoi. Old guy, you're strong. Or suge! Sugoi. Great. You know, confident. Like Green. Green, in particular, has so much confidence, it bursts out of his head and permanently spikes his hair up. Actually, that might just be all shonen characters. He's using the same choice of words as his sister, as he knows we weren't looking for him, but rather someone else. Green is more of a jerk, though, as he wouldn't even bother specifying his grandpa's location. Altogether, he's saying, it's just you, Red. If you're looking for my grandpa, Oukido, he's not here. Nanda reddo ka? Oukido no ji-san nara inee yo. If Oukido, the person who is looking for us, isn't where he should be, I guess there's nothing else we can do. We are like a Disney princess, and we want to see the world, dang it! So let's leave this poor provincial town to explore the great wide somewhere.
Or, mate! Matsunja!
Finally, Oukido shows up. So he starts by saying, oi, which is like saying, hey. You will never forget this if you've played Zelda the Wind Waker. Actually, we did this in English too. Yet another coincidence. So, saying oi in Japanese is like saying oi in English. Easy to remember at least. Oh look, a te. Is it the te form? Alas, it is not the te form. It's the strong imperative form, which means that it's a command or order. They're insisting you follow very strongly. Think of it like a command from the Galactic Imperial Forces. Compliance is mandatory for rebel scum. It's so strong that using it also implies rudeness. I order you to wait. We get the strong imperative form from Godan verbs by changing the final u sound to an e. So we know that this mate is from matsu, or to wait. If you don't want someone to do something, you add a na to the end of the final u sound. So you go from matsu to matsu na. Don't wait. And there's matsu again. With nja this time, we have to explain this in parts. You may remember that in the first episode, Oukido said, reddo to yun da na. The time has come to talk about that is a way to abbreviate no, which at the end of a sentence is not the normal no particle we have been using, but is a replacement for koto, mono, hito, and just about anything. for those times when those words are just too long. You might remember that I said Oukido is the living embodiment of an old man stereotype, but made family friendly. And old people don't have very long to live, so they'll shorten just about everything they can to save those valuable living moments. Ja behaves the same as desu or da. It means be or is, and replaces desu or da in very colloquial speech. But you see it pop up in standard speech too. The negative forms of desu and da are ja arimasen and ja nai, respectively. They mean is not. So, like Diglett in a garden, ja can't help but worm its way into other verb conjugations. Now you know, and knowing is half the shobu. Game grammar! Now that this is clear, we'll reveal what putting them together will imply. A verb in its dictionary form, plus mono plus da, is another formula for a strong suggestion. Think of it as Oukido saying, "You'd better wait." Let's make something clear. These command forms are not taught to beginning Japanese students because if you were to use them in real life, it would be very rude. Games and anime will use them a lot as if they were no big deal, so it is important for us to cover them here, but you'll rarely hear someone actually say it. Likewise, you should almost never actually say them. Just something to keep in mind. Altogether, this isn't the most complicated sentence. It's like, hey, you must wait. You'd better wait. Oukido doesn't have time for eloquence when we might get pulverized by level 2 Pidgey. Oukido. Oi! Mate! Matsunja!
危ないとこだった。草むらでは野生のポケモンが飛び出す。
Abunai means dangerous. It's what we call an E adjective. We can just stick them in front of nouns and it works. So simple. So fresh. Toko is a shortened form of tokoro. Usually tokoro means place, but in this case it's a grammar clause that indicates a moment described by an adjective or verb that preceded it. So the abunai toko is literally a dangerous moment. It makes sense if you think about how time and space are intrinsically connected and not all that different. Data is a past tense form of da, so we're talking about a dangerous moment that happened in the past. As an example, you could say, Yoku kita, ocha o nonde ita toko datta. I'm glad you came. I was just in the process of drinking tea. So this sentence would directly translate to, that was a dangerous moment. But with a bit of polishing, we would say, that was dangerous, or that was close. Kusamura means clump of bushes, grassy place, thicket, jungle, the list goes on. Oukido is referring to the tall grass. De is the particle indicating where something is happening, but it's also being treated as the subject. Notice in this case that in order for it to make sense grammatically, it has to be de wa, not just de. Yasei means wild. We'll see it every time we see a yasei no Pokemon. Tobidasu means to jump out. Literally, to suddenly jump. Remember earlier when we omoidasud? This is kind of the same thing, except we're replacing omoi, to remember, with tobi, to jump. So it jumps and comes out. It suddenly jumps out. So, that was a dangerous moment. Wild Pokemon will suddenly jump out of tall grass. Abunai toko datta. Kusamura de wa yasei no Pokemon ga tobidasu.
こちらもポケモンを持っていれば戦えるのだが。そうじゃ。ちょっとわしについてきなさい。
There's some new verb conjugations here, and we'll briefly go over them now, but more in-depth explanations will follow later. Kochira means here. Mo normally means to, but together with kochira it means even in this place. Think of it as putting emphasis on the mo. Kochira mo. Motte ireba is a combination of the progressive motte iru, stemming from motsu, to hold, and the if clause, eba, motte ireba, if you are holding. Tatakau means to fight, and when you change the u sound to an eru, it becomes the potential form, tatakaeru, can fight. This no isn't our normal no particle. It works just like the n we saw Oukido using before, replacing koto. Da means to be, and ga is something people add to the end of their sentences to add contrast to what they will say next, or make what they already said seem a bit more hesitant. Like in English, if you say but at the end of your sentence. Even here, if you are holding a Pokemon, you can fight, but... So means it's like that, or that's it. Remember when Mom was watching TV? It's like that. And ja is just the copula, like da. Chotto means a little, usually, but here he's adding it to emphasize the order he's giving you. Oukido wants us to follow him, as he says, washi ni tsuite kuru. Washi is another first-person pronoun, sometimes written as a shortened form of the more formal watashi. It's a standard first-person pronoun in elderly male speech. It almost sounds like he got lazy when saying watashi, but he didn't. His personal pronoun is marked with ni, giving us a direction, with him acting as the indirect object. Tsuite kuru means to follow, to come along, so we are following Oukido. But he didn't say tsuite kuru, he said tsuite kinasai. This combines the te form of tsuku and a polite order form of kuru. As you may know, the stem form, also known in some cases as the masu stem, of the verb kuru, to come, is ki. Stem verbs that end with nasai is a polite order, one made by someone from a higher social standing, just like a teacher would ask a student to come with him or her, or a parent to a child. After putting everything together, we have, even here, if you were carrying a Pokemon, you'd be able to fight. That's right. Come with me. Kochira mo Pokemon o motte ireba tatakaeru no da ga, sou ja, chotto washi ni tsuite kinasai. Wow, would you believe that we are just about to get our very first Pokemon? I wouldn't. I recommend you don't either, because this episode is over. But next time, we're going to get the Pokemon, and we're going to get to see it in action. So, who did you vote for us to pick? The grass type, Fushigi Dane, the fire type, Hitokage, or the water type, Zenigame? Thanks for sticking around as we keep dangling that carrot in front of you folks. Remember to tell us what you think in the comments. All of this positive feedback keeps us motivated to improve, and the negative feedback tells us what to improve. We have one quick announcement to make. We are now on Patreon. You can support us by liking and subscribing, but if you want to be even more supportive, becoming a patron allows us to release episodes at a faster pace. If you can't donate, don't worry. Game Grammar will still be free forever. Patreon is just going to be a way to help us get new equipment and bring you more resources that will complement the videos, as well as upload content in a shorter amount of time. Finally, check out the vocab flashcards in the links below, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for other general updates. Till next time, mata ne!